Hi there everybody. I'm making this video to help you through the cleaving section of CrystalMaker assignment 4. So in this section you will be using diamond, and to help you walk through this I will be using the gold structure. Okay? So first things first, you want to keep the diamond structure loaded from the last part of the assignment, and also keep the lattice plane drawn on 1, 1, 1. Now if you've closed out of your structure or you deleted your lattice plane, let's go through how to draw one again. So I have gold loaded up here. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to the Inspector tab. Then we're going to go to the Volume Inspector section. Click the gear. Click Add New Plane. And you see it defaults to drawing on 1, 1, 1. So I have this red lattice plane drawn through my structure on 1, 1, 1. Okay? All right. Next part of the assignment, we want to rotate the structure using the hand tool so that the plane is edge on. So not flat, but edge on. Okay? So let's do that now. Mine's already sort of there. So there's the edge. I'll just rotate it so it's up and down. Kind of line up my gold atoms. It's not terribly important that you be pixel perfect, but just sort of nice. Okay. Next up, we are going to move the lattice plane using the move drop-down menu so that the plane is in the center of the bonds between two rows of carbon atoms for you, gold atoms for me. So what that means is the carbon atoms on either side of your lattice plane should be equidistant from the lattice plane. Okay? So let me demonstrate what I mean by that. So there's the lattice plane. There's a gold atom for me on the right and a gold atom for me on the left. I want to make sure that these are equidistant, essentially. And so we will do that by clicking this drop-down menu, and then remember you can just slide back and forth. So if I default it to the center, maybe that'll be enough, so let's try it out. So if it's in this, if I clicked center there, we're going to use the screen distance tool. If your bond distance tool is defaulted, down here, make sure you click the drop-down menu and then click screen distance, or the letter R on your keyboard. And now we want to click on the lattice plane and try to draw over to the nucleus of the nearest atom. So there it is. I get about 1.146 angstroms. So you can click and that freezes the measurement. And then you can also hold shift and click again, and you'll be drawing a new measurement. So I just clicked on the nucleus there. Now I'm drawing to the lattice plane, clicking again. So that one's 1.214, whereas the first one I took is 1.146. So obviously not exactly in the center, so let's try again. Let's try to get a little bit better. So this one is a little bit further away than this one, so we want to move it just a hair to the left. Okay? So you can do that by, you see, if I click the down arrow here, it's moving to the right, so I didn't want to do that. I want to go just a little bit that way. So I just clicked a couple times. Let's try it. Screen distance tool, clicking on the nucleus, clicking on the lattice plane, now clicking on the holding shift, and then clicking on the lattice plane, clicking on the nucleus. So there. You can see that it's essentially identical. So that did it. We'll just call it 1.177. Why not? It's a difference of 0.001 angstroms. So let's go back to our document. And we want to report that as 1.077, right? 177, excuse me. 1.177. And then we want to copy the graphics with the lattice plane drawn at the midpoint. Okay? So let's scale and center. We can get rid of our annotations. Control C. Click. Copy paste. Perfect. And then we want to repeat these steps with the lattice plane drawn on 0, 0, 1. And then, using those findings, we're going to determine which plane the mineral will most likely cleave on. So let's do that. So let's repeat the steps with the lattice plane drawn on 0, 0, 1. So back to CrystalMaker. In the volume inspector tab, we're going to type 0, tab 0, and then 1. That's good. So now we want to rotate again. And try to get our lattice plane edge on. We're doing a pretty good job of. Just kind of wobbling my structure, trying to get it nice and centered. Okay, so now we need to move our lattice plane again because it's cutting these atoms in half. That's not what we want. We want to be in the center between two rows of atoms. So, how about that? Let's see how we did. Can zoom in a little bit more, use the move tool, can center your lattice plane, and then just keep sort of, refining. It doesn't have to be perfect, but try to get it centered and, or rather edge on. Okay. Now we can use our screen distance tool again. We'll click the nucleus, extend over to the lattice plane, click, hold shift, click on the nucleus, go over to the lattice plane. Look at that, dead on. 1.022 for both of them. So back to the assignment, 1.022. And then we're going to, let's scale and center. Click on the hand tool to get rid of your measurements there, and then copy the graphics and replace the image. No, that's not correct, CrystalMaker. I asked you to copy my graphics. Edit, copy graphics. Hey, there it is. Okay. So using what we have found, we need to determine where this mineral is most likely to cleave. And where that's going to happen is where the distance between the atoms is maximized. So which plane, 1, 1, 1 or 0, 0, 1, has the larger inter-atom distance? So for 0, 0, 1, my distance was 1.022, whereas on the 1, 1, 1 plane, it was 1.177. Right, so it's 0.1 angstroms longer on the 111 plane. So if I'm looking for the distance where the distance between the atoms is maximized, then I know for diamond, or rather, excuse me, for gold, it's going to be 111. And make sure to explain yourself a little bit. Say, the plane 111 is the most likely plane for gold to cleave because the inter-atom distance is maximized. Interatomic. Okay. All right. If you want more information, go ahead and click this link here. It'll take you to a good resource. And then one more little tidbit is that if you want a grid to show up on your viewing screen, so that you can sort of help gauge a good distance between the atoms, you can either navigate to View and then Show Grid in CrystalMaker. So let's do that. View and Show Grid. Or you can just click on the ruler up at the top. Click it, and the grid will appear or disappear. Okay? I hope this was helpful. Good luck.